Hey, what's up? It's Saweetie, and I'm chilling with Hotnewhiphop. So I grew up in Northern California. I grew up in the Bay Area and Sacramento, which is why I talk about both areas in my songs. And growing up, I don't really have a set like neighborhood where I can just explain how the community got down because I was constantly moving. But what I will say is Northern California is a very unique place and it breeds a lot of unique artists. Growing up, I feel like I grew up in a very hip hop household. My mom was listening to like Lil Kim, Foxy, Lauryn Hill, and my dad was listening to like a lot of Tupac, Biggie, and then like E40, Mac Dre, some Bay artists. So it's very hip hop. Yeah, when you go, the Bay is just such a hip hop like atmosphere. So you're just kind of born into it. And of course, hip hop's dope. So I mean, I just grew up loving hip hop. Some of my favorite artists, my mom played a lot of Lauryn Hill. So I really love Lauryn growing up. You know, her album is just one of them albums that can just be played without skipping anything. Before my music, started to pop off and before this life kind of became, my life consumes my everyday, but I'm thankful for it. Before that, I was going to school. I was working 3 jobs. I graduated with a bachelor in communication and business. So I've always just been busy. I've always just believed in hustling and just staying proactive. So while I was in college, I started a t-shirt line called Money Making Mommies, and I made enough to pay for, some of my college tuition. So, it did well. And it was basically a brand that inspired women to go get their own money. And it's something I definitely love to bring back. I had did it just to make money and ended up making, a sufficient amount. But I like to bring it back and just, have it popping again. Inspiration for taking on music full time is because it's one of these professions where you gotta be at the right place, right time, and if you're not constantly just grinding, and you never know when that opportunity might come about, and that's what happened to me. I literally met my manager who, changed my life at an event that I wasn't gonna go to, but I ended up going, and because I did, I was able to meet somebody who was able to open doors for me. So I think I just realized that I needed to go hard I gave myself like a year because I was like a year and a half out and I was like, okay, you're not really doing anything with your life. You're trying to get a job but then do music and it just wasn't matching. So I kind of turned down my job offers and went 100% into music. So before music became my official profession, I was doing a lot of car raps in the car, meaning I was holding the camera up, rapping in my car with the beat playing in the background. And I didn't have access to a studio. I didn't have resources. So that was kind of my way of getting my music out there. And it caught, my manager's attention. I recorded ICY GIRL. It went viral. And I had a lot of offers and decided to sign with Warner Brothers after that. It's really hard to describe my sound only because I feel like I still need a lot of work done. I still have a lot of room for improvement, and each day and each time I record, I'm still finding out what I sound good on or what my voice sounds the best with as far as beats, how I use my tone. So I really wouldn't have a word for that, but one thing I would just describe my sound as just growing. I grew up just listening to a lot of classic hip hop, Big, Tupac, Jay-Z, Lauren, Eve. And people don't even mention Trina a lot, but even Trina, and it's just like when they rap, you felt it. And I'm a very calm person, and I feel like that comes across in my raps. But for my new EP, I'm really showing more of my personality. And the reason why it might sound like I may have that little old school flavor is because I would really not be into what was current and would just listen to classic hip hop all day because it just makes me feel good. And when people hear my music, I hope it makes them feel good too. My favorite era was probably the 90s. I mean, hip hop was just so crazy back then. It was so raw, and to be alive and being a rap star and artist during that time just had to be a crazy feeling. Like, that's something I wish I can go back and be who I am in that era. Those big budget videos, everything was just so fly. Since I've blown up, I haven't had the opportunity to rap for J. Cole, even though I did rap for him 7 years ago when I was a freshman in college, and I told him that I was gonna be on the top with him one day. And the fact that it's 7 years later just makes me feel kind of old. Kind of old, but I feel like when I meet him, it's gonna be the right time. I would love to collaborate with him. I'd like for him to produce a song, maybe even a project, but he's just such a talented individual that I respect a lot. I didn't think ICY GIRL was gonna be what it is today. And it's crazy because I wasn't even gonna make a car rap for it. Like, I didn't like it at first, and my homegirl was like, "This is so tough. Like, you gotta record it." And I'm like, I don't know if I want to, but I was like, whatever. I needed to like be consistent with my car raps. So I had that one in the bag and was just like, all right, I'm gonna go record it. And I recorded it, and I think it was like my most like engaged freestyle as far as people like liking and commenting. So I'm glad I did it. I noticed the series. What's crazy is like I started to get attention, like crazy attention. Maybe like 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks after ICY GIRL had dropped. I probably had an article from every hip hop outlet there was, and it was just a great feeling because all of the reviews were super positive, and I was like, okay, like I know this is me rapping over someone else's beat, but maybe this is gonna take me somewhere, take me out of the situation I'm in now and bring me like more opportunities or something bigger than I expected, and it did. The best way to put it, the reason why I'm putting out my next project is just to give my fans and supporters and my audience just some more dope music. Because at the end of the day, like when I hear music, it's therapeutic. It makes me feel good. It helps me cope with whatever emotion I'm feeling. And if I'm able to, you know, give that to somebody else, I feel like I did my job. So 2 other features that I'm super excited about on my project is Gunna and 2 Chainz. And it's just exciting to collaborate with artists who I respect. High Maintenance, my first EP, didn't have that many features. Didn't have any features, actually, because I kind of wanted it to be just me. But this time, you know, I'm stepping outside the box, getting out of my comfort zone, and just, you know, collaborating. More shades. I'm more comfortable with recording because people don't realize, like, ICY GIRL, like, took off quicker than I would have ever expected. So it got bigger than me as an artist. Like, I'm still developing, like, in real time. One thing that I'd really like to do as far as, you know, my 5-year plan is just being a consistent artist. Because it's one thing to have, you know, a viral sensation. It's one thing to, you know, have a couple songs chart. But if you're able to do that, like, on a 5-year span, a 10-year span, you know, like kind of like how Drake did it, I feel like that's what makes you an exceptional artist. And that's what I want to be, an exceptional artist.
About the longevity.
Yeah, I feel like if you're consistent, you have longevity. Like, I'm not here, you know, just for a good time. I'm here for a long time, too.